What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters? I'm One Eyebrow, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about The Walking Dead. And who would you save, Glenn or Abraham? Abraham or Glenn? But spoiler warning for The Walking Dead show and comics. If you have not seen Season 6 or Season 7 of The Walking Dead, major spoiler warning. I remember when it really swept through The Walking Dead universe and was like, what is going on here? It was the worst cliffhanger, really the worst summer when we had to wait to see who Negan chose. But before we get to it, guys, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't. If you have, thank you very much. We truly appreciate it, but we need your help to achieve that goal of 100,000 subscribers. If you like what we do here at the channel, make sure you like the video. It really helps the channel out. If you want to help donate to the channel, you can do that in a couple ways. We have a Patreon, we have a membership program, and we have links to both of those things in the description of this video and really every video. We also have live streams every Sunday where you can do a super chat. Also, a book series on Amazon in paperback and digital format on Kindle. Hope you join the fight and pick up your copy today. But like I said, Season 6, Episode 16, into Season 7, Episode 1 was really tough for the Walking Dead family, the Walking Dead fans, everybody that loved The Walking Dead. And it really changed the show for a lot of people. And a lot of people stopped watching the show after Season 7, Episode 1. Ultimately, Abraham was picked in the lineup. We had some great videos. I remember that summer. It was like every day videos were coming out from this channel and every channel about who could it be. Is it this person? Is it that person? And ultimately, it came out to be Abraham who was picked. But I could just see, I said this in my live stream on Sunday. That's why I made the video. We brought up this great point. If you could save one person, would you have saved Abraham or Glenn? I'll tell you who I would have saved and why, but I could see the writers being like, okay, Abraham's going to get picked, and then all the fans are going to be like, yes, Glenn survived. And I don't know if it was Gimple or Nicotero or Kirkman or whoever. It was probably Gimple, right? It was like, we're going to have somebody interfere with it. Daryl, yep, we're going to have Daryl, who is shot in the arm, the shoulder blade, back, whatever. He was shot. He's clearly bleeding right there. We're going to have him punch Negan, because that makes sense, right? And we're going to have Daryl be the person who causes Negan to kill another person. So if Daryl doesn't interfere, only one person is picked and the other person survives. But Abraham was picked, and it makes sense because Abraham was willing to take it for the team, and he was a big threat to Negan. He was eyeing Negan up, and Negan didn't like that. So Negan was going to set an example. And that would have been terrible, and it was terrible. But the fact that they had to go an extra step and take someone else out was like, what are you doing here, right? What was going on here? Why do you think that was a good idea in the writer's room? It's like, we got them, guys. You know what we're going to do? We're going to mess with our audience. And that really bothered a lot of people, that they killed two beloved characters of Glenn and Abraham, right? So my question to you was, please post in the comments below, would you have saved Glenn or Abraham? One person has to survive. Not like, I would save them both. No, don't do that, please. But Glenn surviving makes a lot of sense. He has a child on the way, a wife. He could be a big asset to the group. But if Glenn was still around, do you think Maggie would have been the character that she turned into? Would she have run Hilltop? Would she have taken over Hilltop and done the things that she have done? I don't think so. I think she'd be like, I just want to raise my child with my husband by ourselves. And Glenn is an OG. Glenn is one of the original characters from Season 1, so why not keep him around, right? Glenn, Maggie, it just makes sense to have our beloved Glenn, and I love Glenn. Glenn is one of my favorite characters. I love Steven Yeun. I love the story. I love him and Maggie. I love it all. And it makes sense to have Glenn stick around, and that really would have helped the show out. Because again, Season 7 is one of, if not the lowest rated season of The Walking Dead, and it really hurt the series for a lot of people. And Season 6 was so good. So many episodes are great, even though they did the whole like, gotcha, you think Glenn's gone, but he really wasn't. It's just, it was so many things, and I'm not sure if it was Gimple who it was. Again, it was probably Gimple, but we just don't know who exactly made those decisions. But Glenn was a beloved character, but they were building up the foreshadowing of the Negan lineup and Glenn's fate. Because if you knew the comic, you knew what was going to happen in the Negan lineup whenever they were going to get to it. In Season 6, Episode 16, we saw the Negan lineup. It was set up in a couple different ways. They were foreshadowing with Glenn and the baseball bat. And I mean, Glenn is a character that was great in the comic and the show. He was one of those great aspects that is great in both. And we love Glenn, but we knew this was coming. Steven Yeun knew it was happening. Nicotero, Kirkman, Gimple, everybody involved with the show knew it was coming. But the fans were like, they're not going to do it. That's too obvious. And yet the show still did it. Now let's build the case for Abraham, right? Abraham is a fighter. He's funny. He's awesome. He's got military experience. And also, he has a relationship with Sasha. So don't tell me that Glenn would have been more valuable because of the baby and Maggie and this and that. We had all-out war after the lineup. Who would have been more important for that? Abraham or Glenn? Obviously Abraham. And who had some of the best one-liners on the show? Abraham. So you could argue that Abraham should have been kept alive. Abraham would have been better in so many aspects for the show, for All Out War for sure. Abraham has military experience. He had no problem getting his hands dirty, and that would have been very, very important for All Out War and probably would have helped Season 7, Season 8 in a variety of ways. And I know a lot of people like Season 7, but more people did not. Remember the satellite station? Glenn struggled, really struggled to kill saviors. And I don't blame him. It'd be really tough. But do you want the person like Glenn or Abraham during a war? Obviously Abraham, in my opinion, right? Glenn, we love him, but he wasn't built for war and taking out people. And again, I feel for Glenn. It'd be a tough time for me and a lot of people as well. And a lot of people I know would be like, I could do it. Well, that's easier said than done. It's a fictional show and it's not real. And we love both of these characters. But my vote is actually to have saved Abraham and take Glenn out. Abraham is one of the funniest, if not the funniest character on the show. He came around in Season 4 and we loved him. He has some great one-liners, military experience. He would have been an asset for the war. And that's why I'm voting for Abraham. I would have saved Abraham for those main reasons, but it would have been tough. Glenn, Abraham, they're tough to choose, but you got to choose one, right? Abraham was not going to make the war because he doesn't make the war in the comic. Gets up to that point, and then they take him out in the lineup. But imagine Abraham in the war, and he's got some guns, he's got some skills, and he's leading a group of patrol to take down some saviors. How badass would that be? Pretty awesome. But again, who would you save? Abraham or Glenn? And I have to go with Abraham, mainly because we got the war after the Negan lineup, and I think Abraham would have been a far better asset to have on your side than Glenn for that. Even though I love Glenn very much, I had to pick Abraham. So again, let me know your vote in the comments below. And there's no right or wrong answers. It's just a fun discussion. Who would you save? A what if scenario. Thank you guys for watching. Stay safe and tell them, Daryl.
Yo, we love you guys.